now available in paperback and e-readers. Isis, Revenge of the Cyber Goddess. The goddess next door takes on the threat of a deadly digital diva driven to destroy the world in this action-packed, all-new Isis series adventure. Get Isis, Revenge of the Cyber Goddess featuring a bonus pin-up and the other 2 books in the Cyber Goddess saga at online bookstores everywhere today. I got a comment from a viewer who wanted to talk about his issues with the criminal justice system as related to the video that I made about a man who was convicted for the murder of an 18-year-old girl in connection with a case over a pair of Yeezy sneakers she and her boyfriend were trying to sell in 2020. Now, this viewer took some issue to the video I made regarding the man crisis and the individual Adrian Cosby who went berserk in a courtroom when he was convicted for the murder of 18-year-old Andrea Campos Lacayo in connection with the case of the attempted robbery he and an accomplice participated in over these 3 pairs of Yeezy sneakers. Now, this viewer wanted to say that you don't know the truth about this stuff and wanted to talk about his experience with the criminal justice system, where he said a DA was talking a whole bunch of stuff that didn't happen and how they had no witnesses and wouldn't drop the charges, and wanted to talk about how people weren't there and really didn't know what happened. Now, I don't know what happened in the case of this viewer as related to their case, and I don't know what's going on with their case, and I'm sorry that they had to go through things as related to this case that he had with these DAs. Now, I know a lot of these DAs, in many cases, are shady as related to certain cases, and I know that they do try to talk people into things. They try to trick them into things by saying things that they think that they have as related to evidence to scare them into confessing in some cases. However, with the case of Adrian Cosby and his accomplice, basically that case was one where there was a lot of evidence. I mean, when I look at this whole case of Adrian Cosby and his partner George Walton, there is a lot of evidence they left behind that they possibly didn't know they were leaving behind because they don't know anything about how technology works. Now, as an A+ certified IT technician, who can go out here and fix and repair computers such as PCs and Macs, I know that if there was a case, there was a case basically based on the evidence these guys basically left behind as related to the attempts to participate in this online sale, and that evidence was basically left on their computers because these individuals, in order to participate in the commerce of this sale that they made with 18-year-old Andrea Campos Lacayo and her boyfriend, they basically left a digital trail that basically led to them because of the computers and cell phones that they used. Now, in the case of every computer, laptop, and PC out there and cell phone, every one of these devices basically has an IP address on the card that you get your Wi-Fi from, and that card basically is directly connected to those individuals who are using that hardware device, and that whole device can basically be tracked from the ISP to the end user, and that basically creates a virtual trail directly to that individual. Moreover, whenever these individuals go on places like these websites such as eBay, Etsy, or social media to do their business transactions, they have accounts with those places, and those accounts basically are ones that they have to sign up for, and it's usually in many cases directly connected to your name, and that's another virtual trail that an individual is using. And in the case of them using social media, you're basically having a place directly connected to your name, with things like the text messages you make in Messenger directly connected to you, and the same thing with eBay and Etsy and many other websites. These sites are directly connected to your name and basically, again, leave a virtual trail that leads directly to you. I know this because as someone who has done eBay sales for several years, I know that, again, every transaction you make is directly connected to you. Moreover, every transaction you make is directly connected to either your bank account or your PayPal in order to make transactions, and even in order to have an account on the site. In order to receive payments, you have to have a bank account on file, or you have to have some sort of way to get payments such as PayPal to be able to get and receive digital payments. And again, in order to have those payments systems, you have to have your name directly connected to them. So these guys, they were sitting there thinking, hey, they were going to try to run this little hustle where they thought they were going to get these sneakers and be able to take them and run. Unfortunately, what they didn't understand is that they basically were leaving a virtual trail behind them. And as they were leaving this virtual trail behind them, what they were doing was basically leaving a trail that people who are a part of the police as related to cybercrime could easily trace back to them, and trace it all the way back to them with a mountain of evidence that could not be challenged, because you have to put your username and your password in to get into these accounts for these companies. So these guys thought, oh, they would go out here, go on one of these sites like Etsy or one of these other sites where you do transactions, and they thought, hey, we'll go meet up with this person in an abandoned location, go out here and rob these people of these sneakers. And they thought they would be able to rob these people of these sneakers and nothing would come of it. But unfortunately, what happened was, as they were looking to participate in this robbery, sadly, what Adrian Cosby or George Walton, based on whatever is alleged as related to the reports, was the trigger man who wound up shooting 18-year-old Andrea Campos Lacayo. And as Andrea Campos Lacayo lost her life as related to this whole attempted robbery, what happened to Adrian Cosby and his accomplice George Walton is they wound up not just getting convicted for murder, but also attempted robbery. And basically they got convicted because of the digital trail that they left behind as related to the cyber crimes they were looking to participate in. And they got convicted of the cyber crimes because basically what happened with these individuals is they left a trail of evidence as related to the accounts that they had for these online businesses. They left a trail as related to the username of their account or of things. And if they had again, meeting for this thing on Facebook Marketplace, again, the username as related to social media tied them directly to the crime. And all of that was based on all of the digital evidence that they left behind and could easily be verified due to the IP address in their phone or their laptop or their tablet. And again, many cyber criminals, they're so caught up in thinking of running their scams, they're not critically thinking about the whole trail that they're leading to them. They're not really critically thinking about it because they really don't understand the technology that they're working with. They're thinking, hey, I'll make this anonymous account and try to run this scam. But that scam you're trying to run basically is, again, leading a paper trail directly to you. And if you wind up getting caught, what can happen is you're creating a trail that can basically lead to you creating an easy case for a prosecutor to prove, because all they have to do is go to that online company and get your account information. All they have to do is get that account information, and it'll just have a register of all the times that you logged into the account, have a series of dates and times that you were online, And if they have messages, the court can subpoena the people to get the records of the messages you sent back and forth with people. And that makes a case that's basically open and shut for the courts as related to your case that leads to an easy conviction. So in the case of Adrian Cosby and George Walton, they thought, hey, I'm going to go out here, and thought they could pull this robbery and be able to run on the street. But it doesn't work that way in cyberspace, because in cyberspace, there's always a trail of evidence that can lead directly back to you. They can take it all the way back from not only the website that you did the transaction on, whether it be eBay, Etsy, or Facebook Marketplace, or any of these online sellers. They can also take it back all the way to your computer to confirm that it was your computer, your cell phone, or your tablet. They can take whatever device that you have and basically pinpoint the time you were on that computer, because after going to the account to find the records of you being online at that website, they can also trace it back to the IP address inside of your laptop, your cell phone, or your PC, or your tablet, and verify and confirm this was you directly. So it's not smart to go out here and plan a crime online. No, it's not smart at all to go out here and plan one of these crimes online, because if you plan a crime online, you're going to create that virtual paper trail that will lead directly to you. And once you've created that paper trail that leads directly to you, you create an open and shut case against you. So many of these guys, like Adrian Cosby, think that they're going to go out here and create this type of crime, but they don't see where they're going as related to things, and all they do is create a situation that leads to you winding up not only getting arrested, but guarantees that you will wind up getting convicted, because nothing you do in cyberspace is anonymous. Everything you do is basically coming back to you. If you create accounts on these sites and do business on these sites, everything is coming back to you, so you have to really watch how you move. But the viewer wants to think that, again, we should go out here and not know the truth about things. But the whole thing is, the truth is presented as related to the evidence that's presented online as related to this case. And the evidence here is being presented as related to this case, again, is related to the virtual trail that this individual led. Again, that can be verified with the devices that they used, be verified with the account information, and the transactions that were presented online can be verified with the direct messages, and this gives us a timeline. Everything is here when you go online, and many people think that, oh, I can go out here and run game online. But the whole thing is, if you run game online, you're creating a record that can easily lead to your conviction. And this is why when guys go online, they think, oh, I've got no witnesses, nobody will be here. But the whole thing is, the computer is creating a record of everything that you've done. And that's what the viewer didn't understand. Again, the truth is presented there online as related to your actions, as related to what is presented with your actions, as related to your logins, as related to your direct messages. And that was what convicted Adrian Cosby and his partner George Walton, and led to them winding up doing life in prison. What led to them getting the conviction for the murder of Andrea Campos Lacayo, and the convictions for attempted robbery, and the life sentence they received over those Yeezy sneakers, was basically them going online and looking to plan a crime, not understanding how technology works, not understanding how the technology works as related to these computers. And because these guys basically thought they would outsmart everyone, but showed how they didn't know how to work computers, they wound up outsmarting themselves out of the most important thing as related to their intangibles of manhood, such as their freedom. And as they wound up losing their freedom, they won't be using computers anymore inside of that penitentiary. And that is the final fate of individuals. And again, what happened to these guys again was basically their greed, and their greed as related to getting these sneakers, so that they thought they could make a fast dollar by going out here and outsmarting people. But when it comes to these court cases, again, we get the truth based on the evidence, and the evidence here is basically just presented clearly as related to what was with their own transactions online and their whole login records. All of that is irrefutable evidence that cannot be challenged, because in order for those records to be there, you have to log in and use your password, and it has to be on your computer with your IP address. And in order to access those devices, you have to put in your PIN for your cell phone, your PIN for your iPad, your PIN for your smartphone, or you have to put in your password for your account as related to your computer. Again, all the evidence is there. So this guy wants to say, you don't know the truth, but no, we do know the truth. We know the truth from again, that virtual trail that people leave every day. One most people don't pay attention to because they don't understand how technology works. Again, I'll repeat it once more for those who don't understand. In every one of these devices, such as these cell phones, things such as tablets, things such as laptops and PCs, since they have these Wi-Fi cards, all of those devices have an IP address, and that IP address can directly be traced directly to your computer from the router that you have, and that router is registered to somebody's name. That computer is registered directly to you because you have to have an account to basically even activate that computer after you buy it. So it's got your name on it, and again, all the trails go directly to you. So that's how we can know the truth about an individual who is using a device and logging into a website. We have everything letting us know who is using what. And again, this is why you get to know the truth about, again, crimes as related to cyberspace, and why it's not smart at all to even think about committing a crime with a computer, because the trail will come back to you and definitely lead to you for a conviction of that kind of crime. Now, if you want to learn more about how people go out here and wind up thinking they can participate in cyber crimes and participate in inappropriate behavior online and identify predators online, you can pick up my book, Stop Simping in Cyberspace, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find Stop Simping in Cyberspace at other online booksellers like Draft the Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And if you'd like to see me make more videos talking about computers and technology, or talking about things like the Man Crisis, you can drop a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and Kindle, Stop Simping in Cyberspace. Learn how to avoid predatory females like Instagram models and e-girls in their virtual con games with Stop Simping in Cyberspace. Get your copy of Stop Simping in Cyberspace in paperback and Kindle today. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.